InObscuria.
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should-have-beens. I am Kevin Williams. That is Robert Harrison. We are your humble host.
Hi, man. What's up?
Florida man's back.
Yeah.
Now let's kick it back on over to
Robert Harrison.
for our 5-day weather forecast.
Robert.
It was sunny outside. It kind of felt like Florida winter today.
I didn't even get outside. I don't even know.
It was in the 50s. It was great. Sunny?
50s. Oh, that's why I was inside.
Yeah.
I need to be much colder during this time of the year.
Nope.
It's coming.
We've had enough chilly weather to kill off the mosquitoes for a while, so we're good. We reached that mark a few weeks ago where it was like 5 degrees, and that's good for killing mosquitoes. Future mosquitoes.
Killing the eggs.
Yeah.
Hey, man, last week you had nothing.
Hit the button.
What? Already?
Hit the button.
Oh,
I'm not going to let you
shit.
wind up. I got you before you even wound up.
Not even ready over here.
No. Hang on, while you're doing that, let me grab a hiney.
Oh, I'm hitting a button now.
Got that all over the table. Sorry. Clean that up right now. This is a pigsty. I got to clean up.
That's right, Musketeers. It's time to get your grub on with the chef that can give it to you.
Who are we talking about?
Roberts. God not eaten.
That's right.
Right now, Roberts. God not eaten.
Just staring at me.
And?
Sorry, I was looking across the room and realized you were waiting on me. Sorry. So Sunday night, I had some friends over, and I cooked dinner for everyone. And you took a guess what I cooked for everyone?
Let me
eight
see.
people. So eight people.
people.
What-
Pigs in a blanket.
What can you? I've done that. Hamburger helper.
What helped her hamburger taste this good?
Hamburger helper.
Help your hamburger.
Hamburger helper. Help your hamburger helper. Make a great meal.
Hamburger Helper helps her make a great meal, like our cheeseburger macaroni. Just add it to hamburger and make a saucy, savory supper from hearty elbow macaroni and tangy cheddar cheese.
Kids gonna love it.
Dad will too.
Hamburger helper. Help your hamburger helper. Make a great meal.
You are a sexist pig.
Really out of a box or your own version?
Homemade.
Okay, this is Robert's version of hamburger helper.
Somebody made a smart-ass comment that I was going to cook something like that because they didn't know I could actually cook. And I'm like, oh, yeah? So I looked up recipes for hamburger helper. There's about 500 recipes for hamburger helper from scratch.
The recipe for hamburger helper is open the box.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, like I said, from scratch. And you have the like the cheeseburger macaroni version. Then there's like the beef stroganoff version. I mean, I don't know about you. My mom was a school teacher, worked full time, and then came home and had to put up with 2 obnoxious kids and a dad that demanded dinner at 5:45 or 6 o'clock every night. So
You are a sexist pig.
once a week, maybe other week, it would be hamburger helper. But, she would always have like a side and, table nicely set. And so, that was more of a college food for me because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And it's been probably about 25 years since I've purchased hamburger helper.
So I didn't have it growing up. My mom was
Really?
Yeah, because she had
Not even once in a
She
while?
had something against anything out of a box. She wanted everything to be made from scratch.
Cheers to her. That's not easy.
That was just her. But now when I met you, I was with my roommate Larry,
Yeah.
and we would at least twice a week we would have hamburger helper. That was part of our cuisine.
Well, that was about the
We were
age
in our
where
20s.
I was still buying something like that. Yeah, mid-20s. I think by late 20s, I had moved in next to you and started cooking because I had like a full-time kitchen to myself. And I think I graduated about 28 years old.
I remember even then you would try odd combinations of ingredients. And
Yeah.
I remember something that had grape jelly on it. I was like, that didn't even make sense. I don't remember what it was. It was
Steak
steak or
with grape
something.
jelly.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, that doesn't make any
I
sense.
don't know if it was that, but
What's wrong with you?
now I have
Something
to think
like
about that. I don't know. I made biscuits one time. Was it grape jelly on biscuits? That makes
No,
perfect
that
sense.
would make sense. It was
Okay.
something that didn't make sense, and I was like, this guy's putting jelly on something.
There in the early days, there weren't always winners. Let's just say there was nobody. I was not bragging about everything I cooked back then, but the hamburger helper turned out damn good. So I followed that up by tonight making chicken nuggets.
Have you tried McDonald's newest one-of-a-kind?
They're great.
No bones.
I love it. I dug it.
Ooh, new Chicken McNuggets.
Nuggets?
McNugget.
A McNugget is a boneless chunk of tender, tasty chicken with 4 kinds of sauce to choose especially for dipping.
Barbecue, hot mustard, sweet and sour.
Honey, too.
'Cause you deserve a break today with chicken cooked McDonald's way. Chicken McNuggets.
McNugget.
Only at McDonald's.
Chicken nuggets.
'Cause I had
homemade chicken nuggets.
Just a very off-putting experience going to the store. What am I saying? Zaxby's.
Cause he brings chicken, hand-breaded, cold and brown, delicious chicken. Now your taste buds are gonna get a kickin'. A better sandwich you won't find, just one bite will blow your mind. It's flavor from your head down to your knees. You're gonna get a kick out of Zaxby's.
Which is, right there. You can see it out the window. I needed a snack. It was 3:00. Even though I had lunch, a decent lunch, it was 3:00 and I was hungry. So on the way back from my favorite place, Home Depot, I stopped by and got some chicken fingers just as a snack. Got home and was just disappointed. They were obviously at 3:00 in the afternoon. They're not the freshest chicken fingers. And I was like, screw that. That's just left me disappointed. So I decided to make my own chicken nuggets.
I just got indigestion just thinking about it going to Zaxby's.
Yeah, that's...
God, it kills me, man.
It's been
that
about
food kills my stomach.
6 months since I've been there. It'll be 6 more months now after that experience. I'm sure they're fine, but just 3:00 in the afternoon is not when you want to go by those places because it's been sitting for a few hours.
Chickens have neither fingers nor nuggets.
Nuggets.
Discuss.
Well, that's this part. You fillet the granular area. But yeah, I did damn good. Not deep fried, but pan fried chicken nuggets with some broccoli rice to make it kind of somewhat healthy. And it was delicious.
All right. I mean, that's not too out there for you. But
no. It was just funny that I followed up Hamburger Helper with chicken nuggets, and this is what I'm bragging about.
You're living your best life.
Living the best life right now. I am 13 years old.
These are the glory days.
Glory days. I'm not going to live long, but I'm going out in style, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what Hamburger Helper is around the world, it may not be a thing. Yeah. Basically, it's beef, ground beef with any kind of, I guess, noodle and sauce of some sort.
In Mexico, it's hamburguesa ayudo.
What the hell did you just say?
Oh, then. Oh, I forget the conjugation of helper.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Oh, no. I'm
just slacking.
You just screwed up for our two Mexican
offended all
listeners.
Of our Latino audience. Sorry. I will study that word and come back next week.
Yeah, I don't see that many Latin-speaking Latin
We've
nations.
Got India, Austria.
We do. We have lots of other nations, but not that many Spanish-speaking.
That sucks, man. Russia's big in South America. How come we can't be? What do we have to do?
I don't know.
We've done episodes on
we've had
Mexican rock bands and South American rock bands.
Sure
I thought that would just
did not pull them in.
Skyrocket in popularity down there.
Nope. Not living La Vida.
Do we do like goth polka?
Goth polka. You'd think that would get our Latino listeners. Okay. Well, let me do a little research. I'll get back to you on that. I don't think I have that in my collection right now.
We'll have to look that up.
All right. Well, after you enjoy a basket full of Robert's nuggets, go listen to Pot of Thunder.
I'll go get some. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Cobras and Fire, Grown Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City, Sean Geek and Fast Fret Podcast, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, Shout It Out Loudcast, Ron Keel Podcast, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, Retro Zest Podcast, and Dude! Forget about Monty.
Hey, it's Monty.
Monty's Rockcast. You know, Monty just had his best of 2023. Did not mention the episode where he discussed us, so a little put off by that.
He's got a lot of material.
Maybe
I guess it just slipped his mind a little bit.
It was, I was just on the edge of my seat, waiting to hear our name get dropped.
He's getting up there in years. He's what, late 40s?
Yes, late 40s. Yeah, we'll say that. Anyway.
Always guess low. Always guess low.
Come visit us. InObscuria.com. Like us. Share us. Facebook, X, Instagram. This week, Robert,
Yes.
it's a true celebration.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
I don't even have to drop it in. You
That's
just
right.
did it for me.
You're welcome. I'm
Celebration
here to
of our 2024 episode material source. Another episode and another new series coming from the mind of my esteemed co-host,
Oh.
Mr. Robert Harrison, or as he is now known as...
Captain Content!
Yes, Captain Content has once again provided us with tonight's theme, The Good Captain.
Salute.
Yeah, so we are just continuing on. You have provided every episode so far this year, and the streak just keeps going. Last week...
What's the make up? Let's just put that in context.
I
How
know.
many episodes I gave us in the first 3 years? 5?
Yeah.
5 episodes. Not
maybe.
including my birthday episodes. Those don't count.
Yeah, we'll go with 5.
So my streak's 4.
You've kind of doubled that now, I think.
Okay.
Well, no, maybe not.
No.
Maybe not quite.
I'm working on it though.
You're working on it.
We'll see how long I can keep that going.
All right. Well, last week I mentioned to all of our listeners that the good captain, from time to time, he texts me songs that might make good show content. Sometimes we've already referenced and or played them on the show.
Not sometimes. The majority of the time. Let's just get that right.
Let's just say last week you sent me Boris, and I'm like, yeah, we played them.
Yeah.
And you liked them.
And this might be the second time that I've sent that to you after we played them.
Now, other times you will send me things that don't exactly meet the obscurity criteria.
Right. 'Cause,
Right.
Yeah. I'm not digging as deep as you do.
Like, oh, it's not quite deep enough. But every once in a while, you hit me with something that's right on the mark. It's something I've never heard of. And for those songs, I have a list.
Good.
I keep a special list.
At least somebody's writing stuff down around here.
Exactly. So that's where I'm going. So I'm not certain if you remember the songs that you send me.
Nope.
So today, we are going to play from the list that I'm calling Episode 216, Robert's Found and Lost.
You know what? The pressure just hit. I know what you feel like every week because it's like, oh God, if this sucks, it's my fault. Normally I don't feel this way, but
This is not a lost and found. This is a found and lost.
Yeah,
because
for my birthday episodes, it doesn't matter because it's my birthday. Screw everybody else. But now it's like, oh crap, this better be good.
Yeah. So I have 7 songs of bands that you've sent me. The list is pretty long, actually. So it was kind of fun going through because the thing with all of these bands, I don't know them. So I have to go and do a little listing. Then I have to decide, do I want to purchase this or not? Because I'd rather purchase it than just play some clip and steal it. So these are ones that I dig, and I think you will dig. Perhaps if you hear it again and you remember, or perhaps you don't.
It's a crapshoot, Kevin. In my world, every day is that way. Just
So
we'll see. That memory's just going to go completely.
So I'm going to tell you about the band. We're going to play it, and then you're going to go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Or
those are good times.
I don't remember that at all.
I get to discover it all over again. That's why I don't care about having a horrible memory because it's just, oh yeah, this is great. Oh yeah, this is great. Oh yeah, and it's the same thing over and over.
Now this one you'll probably remember. This one you sent to me not too long ago, and you said, "We've played the band Death. Have we ever played this band?"
Undeath.
More death.
More death. Deatherish.
No, this is a band called Pure Hell. You remember sending this one to me? I'm sure.
Nope.
And you know the history. If you want to go ahead and say it, you can.
Yeah, Pure Death.
What the hell did you just say?
Nope, Pure Hell.
Hell. See, what was that? 2 seconds?
That was.
I was drinking beer while you were talking, so my brain turns off while I'm drinking beer.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Children, listen up. Gather around. Drugs are bad. Okay.
Alcohol's bad.
Alcohol's bad. Brain concussions. Those are bad too.
All right. So Pure Hell is the name of this band that you gave me, and you mentioned the band Death, and that's the band Death from Detroit, not the death metal band Death. This is the band...
No, the Good Death.
The Good Death.
Yeah.
The band that we talked about that were African-American. They kind of were punk before punk was a thing, and then they weren't discovered until much later, 30 years later. Finally, they got something released.
And I do feel actually cooler knowing that. Like, I'm walking around just going, yeah, that's right. I know the real roots of punk rock.
You do. Well, here's another one. So you sent me this one, and I looked it up because you mentioned the band Death. And this is another of the first American punk rock bands. This is a band from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who I guess came together in 1974, and they've been cited by none other than Bad Brains, another great African-American punk band, as an early influence. And they have a very similar story. So they only released a single in the 70s, and that was a cover of, I think it was Boots Were Made for Walking or something like that. But they did like a punk rock version. And I think that's the only thing that got released, and maybe there was a B-side or something like that. But again, just like Death, who had done the same thing, they released a single. They didn't have that many of them. And they recorded a full-length album, and it went unreleased for 28 years. So very similar story here. So in the mid-70s, they moved from Philly to New York. They became buddies with the New York Dolls and Sid Vicious. They were on that scene, the early punk era. And their manager, so this is a crazy story because we just talked about this guy. Their manager was none other than Curtis Knight. Now, do you remember we played a Jimi Hendrix song, and it was Jimi Hendrix and Curtis Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Hendrix signed a deal with this guy, Curtis Knight, and his manager. And then Hendrix went off and became Jimi Hendrix. But these guys had, all of like an album's worth of material that they just kept re-releasing and re-releasing.
Forms, and different covers.
Yeah, and they used Hendrix's name on all the covers and made, I'm sure made some money on it.
I'm sure I own one too.
Curtis Knight was this band's manager in the 70s. And I guess they had some major falling out. So Curtis Knight, not only did he screw Hendrix, but he screwed this band Pure Hell because they had a falling out and he would not release the album. Somehow he had made them sign a deal, where he owned the rights to the record, or he put up the funding for it, so he owned the masters or something. He's the reason this didn't get released. Very bizarre. Now, here's another cool thing. The vocalist and the drummer of this band have another unreleased album that they tried to put out in the 1990s. It happened to them twice. And that particular album had members of LA Guns, Nine Inch Nails, and Lemmy on the album. The album's called The Black Box. It's never been released. So, I mean, talk about bad luck. They should call their band Bad Luck instead of Pure Hell, but maybe Pure Hell works too.
But who is sitting on an album with Lemmy on it and not releasing it?
I don't know.
That's guaranteed sales.
He's singing background vocals on a song called The Call, which...
So you put anything and say, hey, let me sing it on this. People are going to buy it.
I don't know. But what I do know is their album Noise Addiction was released in 2005, 28 years later, after it was recorded, and it sounds a little something like this.
When you were alone, I walked you down the street. Yeah, I was hungry for your precious meat. But you came less and left me in the rain. Oh, how I suffered from your leg pain. So get out.
that was extra delicious with headphones on. It's like standing between two guitar amps, just two different guys. Well, was it the same guy? How many guitar players?
I think it must be two guitar players.
Okay. But either way, that was great. Just hearing the two different styles and tones, one in each ear. It's like, yeah, I'm right there in the middle of that.
I think that one guy was wearing rings or something because
you
I hear a lot of clicking.
Yeah. Oh, that's... Yeah, I was never able to wear hardly anything, like even just the sweatbands. That's about all I could wear. No jewelry or anything, because I would guarantee it would have gotten snagged in the strings. We would have had a moment. In addition to the other moments that we had on stage.
Ace Frehley wears... Oh, wait, did I say his name? Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's with an outfit. Some outfit out of
he was,
New York. The New York mannequins.
No.
New York playthings.
Kiss. Early Kiss connection with K.
Getting it out.
Yeah,
Get it out of the way.
Ace wears rings, and you can hear them. Oh, here comes Ryan James, DOG. Like, what's up?
You have trained my dog. He was upstairs, and you did the Kiss connection. He comes all the way downstairs just to run in here. Hey, how's it going? And then he leaves the room. Hey, what's up?
Maybe he thinks his name's Kiss. No.
Maybe, or he gets mentioned on the show, he gets royalties. That's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to get his name mentioned so he gets his retirement fund.
Ronnie James DOG.
Yeah. So the reason I thought those were rings clicking is because I hear Ace
doing the same thing,
clicking, and it sounds kind of like that too.
That's the real reason he got kicked out of the band. That just irritated the hell out of Gene.
I'm sure.
Ace, you got to take those rings off, man.
That's not the best Gene I've ever heard, but it's close.
I can't do Paul or Gene unless you go, people! That's the only way you can do a Paul Stanley imitation.
How we doing so far? Good people of Portland? Want y'all to know something in case you didn't already? We are just getting started!
All right. So do you remember sending that to me? Do you remember how that came on your radar?
If you put it in context, like when you got that or when I sent it to you.
It wasn't long ago.
No, it's something that probably popped up, either through one of Spotify's playlists or one of the weird video things I get on Instagram. Like, I'm not on Instagram that much, but if I scroll through it, it knows that I like weird bands.
Right.
And so it pulls up some really good deep cut bands.
Because you mentioned, hey, we played Death. Have we played this band? So, you must have gotten something that referenced Death.
Or I might have been when I was playing Death and then did a Death playlist. They came up on that. Actually, that's probably what it is, yeah. Either way, I mean, it's just coming up with, doing my part here to help out with the show.
Look at this guy.
We're partnership. Man.
Now, do you remember this next band that you sent me?
Oh, sorry. I should wait till
I haven't said. I'm going to say the name before you answer.
Sorry.
The name of the band is Stargun.
Oh, God. It sounds familiar.
All right. So,
is it a newer band?
It's a newer band.
Yeah. Same thing. That came up in a playlist.
Okay. What you may or may not know, I'm not sure if you do, but this is a band formed partly in LA and partly in Nashville by none other than Shooter Jennings.
Yeah.
On keys and vocals. This is Waylon's sons.
Just a good old boys.
Yeah, so Shooter Jennings puts together this band and says that this is going to be Leonard Skinner meets Guns N' Roses. That's what he's going for with Stargun. Now, gun has two N's just to make it even more cool.
Hell yeah.
And they toured, they weren't around that long, but they toured with Saliva, they toured with Tesla. It says they formed in 97, but I didn't really see them doing anything until after the 2000s, so I'm not really sure what they were doing for those first couple of years, but they broke up by 2003.
He had daddy's money. He didn't have to do much.
Yeah, maybe that was it. And then they spun this off. There were a couple other bands. There was a band called Hell or High Water. There was a band called the 357s, and then Shooter Jennings just decided, I'm just going to do the solo thing, and that's worked out pretty well for him. Now, at one point, Shooter Jennings was offered the Velvet Revolver spot.
Ooh.
So he could have been the guy in Velvet Revolver.
After Scott?
I think before. I think when they were looking for a singer, they thought about this guy.
God, that could have been really different, I bet.
But he chose wisely, I think, because, Velvet Revolver were going to implode. They weren't going to be around for that long.
He probably knew that was a short-term gig.
And he's done all right on his own. He focused on country music. He's had 4 Grammy nominations and 2 Grammy wins later. He's done okay for himself. But this band Stargun is interesting. And I know why you sent me this band when I saw what their biggest song was, and I'm assuming you heard this song. So we're just going to play that one right now. It's called Mustangs and Camaros.
Yes. technically speaking, I disagree with some of that.
Which parts?
Having owned a Camaro. I can't talk about Mustangs. I'll leave that to you. But having owned a Camaro, the first two, you can drive and you can fly in a Camaro.
I would agree.
The last one, I'll agree with that one. Yeah, it's challenging. Let's say those back seats, the bucket seats in the back, those are not comfortable.
No.
For anything. Let's just leave it at that.
But somehow I was able to convince my wife that a car seat fit back there. And that's when I got my Mustang. We had an infant.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, it fits.
Oh, it's got a big back seat. It's safe.
It's big enough for a baby.
Yeah.
They love convertibles.
And how many times did you have a kid seat back there?
I don't think
Once?
more than 10 times.
10 times.
But yeah. Now, she used to love it when I would drive her to school in it when she was little.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So, but that was close.
Those are good
to the
memories.
house. So anyway.
But you still had that thing, man. How old is it?
It's 2010.
Yeah, you got that, and I got the Charger, and we're grasping for the last bastion of our youth.
Yeah,
fast cars.
It's not long for the garage, I can tell you that. It's going to go pretty soon.
Mine's, I'm thinking about that with mine, but it's 19 years old. I've had it this long. It's like, why not just let it ride out the storm? It's going to get totaled or stolen, because it's a high target vehicle here in Atlanta for theft, because they love to take them and, do stupid shit with them in the middle of intersections. So, it's just a matter of time if that thing gets thieved. But yeah, that's why that song caught my ear.
I figured.
I saw the song title and went, oh, what? Mustangs and Camaros play?
So that one you remember.
Yeah, that one.
Now, did you know that it was Shooter Jennings?
No, I had to then dive into
Okay,
I'm going to listen to this band. And then as I'm listening, you scroll down and it gives you a little bit of a history. And I'm like, well, I'll be damned. Shooter Jennings, I know him.
Yeah. Pretty good band. I mean, I don't know, I don't know why it didn't go much further, but I'm assuming it's because Shooter Jennings as a name alone is going to sell many more albums.
Well, and once again, where would that have fit in? Not on,
especially in 2001 when it came out.
Yeah, that's not going to be on actual terrestrial radio, and satellite radio was in its infancy, and they didn't have a in-between genre. It was all metal or grunge.
Right. Yep, you're right. So I think he made the right choice, going out, using his name, and sticking to country.
I think he did better than Hank Williams III.
What the hell did you just say?
I think he's probably done better, but people love Hank III.
Yeah, he's got a cult following.
Yeah, people love that dude.
Trying to save my life, 'cause the sheriff wants to kill me 'cause I fucked his wife. I was on the run with the gun in my hand, 'cause I liked a good time and a one-night stand. I'm going straight to hell. Ain't nothing slowing me down. I'm going straight to hell. So you just better get... Hey.
There it is. Lock it down, Judy. All right.
All right. Well, let's see. This next one you sent me, I thought sounded cool, and I was just hearing the name. I was like, that sounds like a 90s band. And sure enough, it is. It's a band called Liquid Jesus. Do you remember sending this one to me?
It's all about the marketing. No, but I same thing. I saw the name, was like,
such a 90s sounding
I got to click
name.
on this one too.
Liquid Jesus. So an experimental band from LA that came out in 1990, and they did the whole club circuit of the early 90s. They were an in-betweener. They fused funk, psychedelic, blues, jazz, metal, bizarre sounds, kind of like a lot of those bands of the late 80s, early 90s were trying to figure out where they were going, where music was going. And I love this period of time because you just didn't know what you were going to get song to song. And this is one of those bands. They were thought of at the time as perhaps being the next Jane's Addiction, because Jane's Addiction kind of ruled that space of LA weirdness. But liked by the metalheads, liked by the college
hard
kids,
rock, almost
liked
metal,
by the punkers.
Yeah, they encompassed a
little bit of
4 or 5
funkiness
different
to
genres.
Yeah. And so Geffen Records signed this band, and in 91 they delivered their only album called Pour in the Sky, and it's listed as funk metal and alternative rock, but it goes a little further than that. I think you can definitely hear some Hendrix, some Zeppelin, Chili Peppers, Queen, all the stuff that went into that mix to make this interesting music that was coming in the 90s that we call in-betweeners. Now, they did also release a live album and an EP, but those are a lot harder to find than the one Geffen album that I got for like $2. Got it on Discogs, a CD for $2, and it's pretty badass. I'm going to play a song called WHYB.
musical buffet.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of everything. It's exactly what I want to hear. If I'm working outside somewhere, that's just got a little bit of funk, hard rock, not too metally. There's a time for metal.
Bluesy.
Yeah, bluesy, funky, but heavy.
Yeah, and very, very 90s sounding.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It takes me back to my own band. It reminds me of the whole album. I'm like, wow, this is what I wanted Minor Earth, my band at the time, to be. We weren't quite there at that point in time because I had only really just started writing songs and playing guitar, but that was kind of what we were going for.
You guys had
at that time.
A good funk quality to you.
Yeah, so I love it. I'm glad you introduced me to this. Do you remember or do you recall where you even heard this or got this from?
No, doesn't matter.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Found it and lost it.
Found it and lost it. Living in the moment, Kevin. Living in the moment.
I know.
That's all I worry about.
I know. That's how we do it.
Right now.
All right. Well, here's one. So I have several on the list that you could consider acid rock, proto-metal, psychedelic blues. You've sent me quite a few of these.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming I'm assuming that's a rabbit hole you were going down for a bit, trying to get like space rock or
all that.
Proto metal.
Every time
whatever.
you do a space rock episode, then all of a sudden I start diving.
Or an acid rock.
Acid rock, same thing, yeah.
So this is one of those bands, and I thought because I have a ton of obscure ones, because there were so many, and we've talked about the reason why is because a lot of those bands in the 70s, they just didn't have the distribution.
Yeah.
You know, they could have been a good band regionally or locally, wherever they were, but they didn't have the means to get their music out there at the time, and now it's coming out because of everybody posting it in social.
Distribution is the internet.
Exactly. But that wasn't available then, so that's why there's so many of these popping up. And this one, I was like, how did I not hear of this one? But I know why Robert sent it to me, because the name of this band is Mick Oil. I remember getting this text. I'm like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Mick Oil?
If you want Robert to like a band, you better have a good name. That's what gets me.
It's the name, Mick Oil. Now, would you have imagined that Mick Oil were a German heavy psych acid rock prog band?
No,
they are.
I thought they were Irish.
No, yeah, the McOils. No, it's a German band, which is even weirder. Formed in 1976, they were around for 10 years. And they only released one album.
Slackers.
They did a lot of drugs. Drugs bad.
Once again, kids, if you need even more examples, why? Just don't do it. It's
one album.
And it's expensive.
It came out in 1979. And I would say it was probably 7 years too late for what they were doing.
Oops.
But they loved their Deep Purple and they loved their Uriah Heep, and that's what they were going for. And it's awesome.
Mott the Hoople.
Exactly. It's awesome, but in 1979, there's not a chance in hell this is going anywhere. Humble pie. Good stuff. All right, so here's some McOil, or as my grandmother would have said, Mac Oil.
Mac Oil.
It was Mac.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Yeah, Mac Oil with Be Careful from their album All Our Hopes that came out in 1979.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, that might have gone over a little bit better in 1970.
Yeah, 70, 72?
70
That
to
would have been
72,
there,
yeah,
man.
because Iron Butterfly had that church organ thing down. That was their thing. So
in 1979, Donna Summer was big.
Yeah.
New Wave was just getting started.
Van Halen
was out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure that was ever going to go anywhere.
It's kind of like the theme to a movie. These guys get caught in a time warp and they reappear in 79 and the world's changed. I mean, that trope has been written many times, but that's what it seems like. But the song is good. If you just
it's great.
Move it back a few years,
yeah,
it's a good song. And it's good. Was he saying, I would love to be your tree?
What the hell did you just say?
Or
I thought he was saying friend, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I've heard that.
I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't bring back good memories.
That's not
when you hear that, I'd like to be your
name of the song
friend.
is Be Careful, so maybe it is. Would love to be your friend.
Yeah, got a lot of friends there, Kevin. A lot of friends.
Damn it, women.
Son of a God. I pay for dinner even. Yeah, so good try for them. And that was another one that was that same thing. I'm picturing it in the early 70s. I don't think I realized it was 79. I don't think I dug that deep.
Well, it astounds me how different the early 70s were from the late 70s. I mean, that decade music, man, it was just all over the place and ever changing.
All kinds of genres.
The 80s, kind of the same thing, but I think the growth or the dramatic change stopped in the 80s and kind of ever since is kind
beginning
of
of the 90s
retro.
into the 90s. You had, of course, grunge, but
you had your alternative and stuff, but that was all like retro. We want to sound somewhat 70s and punk, and
then between 2000 and 2010, I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And between 2010 and 2020, I can't tell the difference on most music. Like I'm talking in general. Obviously, there's some bands you can plot changes through that band,
right?
But
man, the 70s were like
anything goes and
started out in the hippie years, right?
Beatles were still around,
but ended with disco and new wave and
metal,
just metal and just so many changes.
Yeah,
I think it had to do with the changes in the recording industry and the technology. That continued into
huge
the early
advances
80s with
in that 10
synthesizers
years.
And everything.
Electronic synthesizers, all that.
Yeah, so sampling, all that stuff as it came into the 80s. But anyway, we're talking about Mac Oil. Man, they didn't even form until 76, so they were already playing retro music by the time they got
their
going.
first gig.
But I dig it. It was really good. The album's really good. I think they put that out on their own. I don't know that it was ever picked up by a true label.
Yeah. So don't worry about when it was released. Just appreciate it for what it was.
It's awesome. It's really good. We're going to go as far away from that as we can with our next one that you sent me. And this is a band I listened to, and they have a bunch of videos, and they're big in the UK. Like, this band does really well.
Okay.
But it's one of those sort of like Manic Street Preachers where big over there, but just never broke here. Or at least they haven't broken here yet that I'm aware of, because I'd never heard of them when you sent them to me. And when I went and started watching the videos, I'm like, wow, they've got a bunch of videos. So they must be pretty big. And sure enough, they're really big, but not here in the United States.
Yeah.
So this is a band also that I'm going to label, I came up with my own genres with the In-Betweeners. I'm going to come up with my own genre again. This is SWA punk, snotty with attitude.
Okay. Snotty with an attitude.
Because there's certain
snarling, snotty.
There's certain punk bands, the singers
have sinus problems.
You can just tell they want to pick a fight.
Oh,
just by the way they sing.
Snotty. Okay.
And they don't mask their, a lot of times when a singer from the UK sings, they kind of lose their accent.
Yes, that's so
right?
weird.
It just normal.
So weird.
But certain bands, these snotty with attitude bands, like you can tell exactly where they're from. Like, oh, that's a Scottish band. That's an Irish band. Oh, they're Welsh. Just by the attitude and the snarl and the what you're hearing. So this is a snotty with attitude band. I think they would be Johnny Rotten approved. In fact, they may be.
Which is the poster child of.
There's your first
snot rock.
Snotty with Attitude Band. This is an Irish band formed in 2014, and their name, Fontaines DC. Now, do you remember sending this to me?
No, I mean, come on. You got to give me a break. Sometimes I'm walking through Home Depot or something like something just hits me, and I got to send you a text. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't put lots of thought into this. It's just I got to get this out of my head right now, or else it's gone forever.
All right. Well, I go and start listening to them. Like I said, I went to YouTube first.
I appreciate that you listen and you keep records of this. That's a compliment. I appreciate that.
Well, especially when
not everybody listens to me when I say things.
Now, I'll admit, I said it earlier, but the reason I started writing down the list is because the first things that you would send to me, I'm like, dude, we've already talked about them. But then you started sending me things that I didn't know.
I'm getting better. Yeah, I'm trying.
And I was like, okay, all right. He's getting into it. So this band released their first album in 2019, critical acclaim in the UK and Ireland, album of the year for Rough Trade, which is a record store. BBC hailed this band as, one of the great bands. They were nominated for a Mercury Prize as well as a Choice Music Prize in the UK. Then their second album comes out, nominated for Best Rock Album at the 2021 Grammy Awards. So somebody over here heard of them. Mm-hmm. But I've never heard of them. I've never heard a single song. It could be that I'm just not in the know. Mm-hmm. But I like to think that I pretty much know when a new rock band is out, and I hadn't heard of them.
I remember after I heard this, I had to go back and listen to Fountains of Wayne.
Fountains of Wayne, yes. Fontaines DC.
Yeah, for some reason it reminded me of that.
So you're recalling this now?
As you talk about it, it starts to get more clear. It's not gone forever.
Okay.
It's just like you can't find it on the hard drive. That's my brain. It's in there. It'll come back in a minute.
I can only imagine what the inside of your brain's folder structure looks like.
No, you don't want to. No, don't even think about that. It's horrible.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, hamster fell off that wheel.
Yeah.
Third album comes out 2022, and it's their first to reach #1 on the Irish album charts and the UK album chart. Again, this is not an obscure band, but it is to us.
Yeah.
Or at least it is to me. So,
which all that matters. That's as long as we don't know about it.
Lots of good songs. I want to play a song from their first album called Too Real, and it reminded me of the first time I heard Creep by Radiohead, where there's that one thing in the song that just, even though it just doesn't matter, it makes the song. That, you know what I'm talking about in Creep?
Oh, yeah. And it was an accident.
Yeah.
Oh, not an accident. It wasn't supposed to be in there.
The cranking of the guitar before it starts.
It was before he was supposed to be punched in by the sound guy, and they ended up just leaving it in there because he was getting annoyed because he was having to do this take like 50 times, and he was just pissed.
Yeah. So
stuff like that's great.
This song has that. Let's see if you catch on to it like I did.
Pull the passion loose from you, ungrateful hands. As it stands, I'm about to make a lot of money. Gold hats in the pan. None can revolution lead with selfish needs aside. As I cried, I'm about to make a lot of money. Gold hats on the side. Is it too real for ya? Is it too real for ya? Is it too real for ya? Is it too real? The winter evening settles down. 6 o'clock, the city in its final dress. And now a gusty shower wraps the grimy scraps of withered leaves all about your feet. And then the ringing of a twitching hand. 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Is it too real for ya? Is it too real for ya? Is it too real for ya? Is it too real? Is it too real for ya? 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 No one can pull the passion loose from youth's ungrateful hands. As it stands, I'm about to make a lot of money. Gold caps in the pan. No one can revolution lead with selfish needs aside. As I cried, I'm about to make a lot of money. Goes around and around and around. Oh yeah, boy, yeah. Is it so real for ya? Is it so real for ya? Is it too 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 real for ya?
Just enough snarl, just the right amount. So I don't remember when I sent this to you, but this also came up in a different playlist, and the song of theirs that I really like is Jackie Down the Line. Okay. And it's same thing. It's kind of like this. It's got some attitude to it. So it's not pure punk. It's
more, like I said, snotty with
punk
attitude.
rock, but it's somewhere in there. But I love that. And so the song Jackie Down the Line, go give that a listen. And that's what caught me initially. But yeah, the whole band that just got it's because pure punk rock. Once in a blue moon, I like a good punk rock song, but I like it more when it moves over into just a little bit of melody and musicianship.
I would say that the original punk rock had that, and then it kind of got away to being almost formulaic,
right?
With the hardcore, and it never progressed. This is,
and when
to
I
me,
say
this
that,
is
that hardcore is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The once in a blue moon. Yeah, I love a good
the original hardcore
song.
bands I love, but yeah, it got to be very formulaic, and there's still bands doing it, and there are bands that do it well, but to your point, it gets kind of old.
Yeah, it's monotonous.
It's a little boring.
Yeah, but songs like this, they've got some diversity to it.
Yeah, this is like taking old school first and second wave punk and just adding a new kind of flair to it. And
yeah,
I mean, there are bits of this song where there's really nothing but drums and the singer, and the guitar is just making noise. I love it because it's just different.
And it's hard to do heavy without overdoing it, because it's easy to crank up the amp, put in 4 layers of guitar tracks. Excuse me, new metal. Yeah. So that's easy, but keeping it airy and having some space in there, but making it heavy with attitude, that's a little bit
I guarantee you this is the song that everybody that listens to the show is going to be like, oh, that was horrible. And we're like gushing.
Really?
But I love it. I think it's great. And I'm glad that you introduced me to
so like I
this.
said, if you don't like that one, before you discount the band, go listen to Jackie Down the Line. It's the next one over.
But that kind of creep thing, I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning it's just kind of drony, and then he goes, and then you go, and just like hits you in the face. Love it. The introduction of the heavy is
They're like, you need something here. Yeah, whatever. There you go. How's that?
I dig it. And I dig this next band, who's also a UK band. So this band has a very generic name, unfortunately. So you sent me
Steve.
This is the band Steve.
Yes.
No, you sent me this band called The Now. So what I don't know is if I have the right one that you sent me, because you just sent me
well, there's
the now,
the right now.
Well,
now.
let me just tell you. So several different bands. The Now was an English punk rock group from Peterborough, England from 76 to 79, or there's a psychedelic band, the U.S. band from the 60s called The Now. There is a Wisconsin cover band who's been a staple on the scene for 18 years, The Now. And then there's a hardcore band from Washington State called The Now, or the one I went with, which is a newer alternative rock band from South Wales. So I'm going to go with the Welsh band.
Let's stay in that general territory over there.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Welsh band, and the reason is once I found them, I immediately ordered their vinyl. So this is one of those bands that got me right away, and they're kind of mixing 80s and 90s and now, and I think
I see what you did there.
Oh, look at that. Didn't even mean to do it, and I did it. Yes, The Now. And on their album, they're using umlauts over the O's. So, that gives them a plus up. That
takes you up a notch.
That is a plus up. Not a lot out about the band. They're very new. In fact, the single that I'm playing has come out, but the album has not. So their first album's coming out this year, 2024. A couple of singles out, but this one I think is probably the latest one that I saw, and I just heard it and thought it was great. It's called Girl, You Got Me. Don't know if this is who you intended me to listen to, but this is what
Let's see if it
I'm taking.
Jogs the memory.
Here we go.
Suspicious to me. Got her in love, I got your needs. So why'd you go and do it? Why'd you go and do it to me? You caught me in love, simply I'm on my knees. Shaking like a wild bird, baby girl. You got me sweet. Oh, you got me sweet. So why you do it to me? You got me spinning around. So why'd you go and do it? Why'd you go and do it to me? You got me in love, simply I'm on my knees. So girl, you got me sweet, you got me shaking like a wild bird, baby girl. You got me sweet. So girl, you got me. So girl, you got me. So girl, you got me sweet. So girl, you got me sweet. So girl, you got me sweet. So girl, you got me. So girl, you got me. So girl, you got me sweet.
Well, have to admit, no idea but I'm like you. That's fine. Let's just accept that that's a great band, regardless of if that's the exact one that I remember, because I looked it up also, and I think that's the one, but I don't have any memory of it. So I either heard one of their songs, I don't remember that song, because you're not necessarily playing the song. I sent you the band.
Yeah, you send me, sometimes you send me like a screen capture of the song and that you're listening to, but a lot of times it's just the band.
Yeah, so I might have listened to one song and you're playing a different song, which doesn't spur that memory. But regardless, that's a great band. Nothing wrong with that.
Did you hear that, like, the choice of using the guitar that they use in the verses where it's kind of that chorusy, clean guitar? That is so late 80s, early 90s that I haven't heard for a long time. And then they still have the chunky chunks in it as well. I love that.
James, the band James.
Yeah.
That's kind of what
90s,
it reminds that, because they had their big hit in '89 and then had another run in the '90s. So it's that crossover that it just fit in perfectly.
Yeah, but have you heard? I can't recall a band doing that sound in
and they're new
years, and they're a new band.
Yeah, that's what's great. I mean, we've parked on this for 3 years. There's a lot of good bands out there. You've got to dig for it, and I think I'm starting to get into that more of that digging. I was lazy and just let you spoon feed me for years, and now I'm like, no,
not this year, Captain Content.
Turn over a new leaf.
I know what your New Year's resolution was. Is I will provide the content for this podcast going forward.
Not all of it. I didn't say all of it.
The entire year.
I will provide something.
Is done and provided.
My usual New Year's resolution I've had for, I think, 5 years straight now, and I'm still working on it and haven't achieved it completely.
Can you share?
Eat more cheese and drink more.
What's wrong with you?
Eat more.
So I'm still working to that.
That's
it's a battle. You got to really persevere.
It's doable though. You can do it.
Most
if
people
anyone can do it, you can.
What is it? February the 3rd is the quit day by most people who quit their resolutions or something like coming up.
It's coming up.
Yeah. So no, I'm still going strong.
All right. Well, before we end tonight, I do have a special Viking report. So please take off your horned helmet. Yes, we couldn't end this evening without talking about the Viking ladies of the Gems.
How are they doing?
Well,
you talked to them lately?
At one time they were part of Thunder Mother, and we know that there was drama last year around this time, and there was a split, and now there are two bands. You have Thunder Mother and you have the Gems. And the Gems...
It happens. Molecules do that sometimes. They just split some, or is it atoms?
It's to our benefit, really.
Something
it's
like
to
that.
our benefit, because
split.
we're getting more music, more bands that just kick ass. And these girls, these ladies, they kick ass. So the Gems, they released several singles last year. They released their debut album last Friday.
Cool.
And it is a killer.
Might have to
already in
play
contention.
From it next.
We might be going there. We played a couple of songs from them already. But the reason I wanted to bring it up is last year we talked a lot about the drama in the old Thunder Mother camp, and well, it's back.
Chick fight. Oh, sorry.
So the Gems released their album. They had announced that they were releasing this album on January the 26th.
It's been a year since this started.
Big show.
You would think everybody kind of went their own ways by now.
Yeah. Well, guess who also announced kind of haphazardly last week that a new single's being dropped on Friday. Yeah, Thunder Mother released a new single on Friday. Now, do you think that's just a coinky-dink? That is not
rock and roll sorority
a coincidence
shit going on.
Yeah. So they can't even because the fan base in Sweden.
Was it George Lynch and Don Dokken, the famous?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this they're trying to
This is Lynch Mob and Don Dokken
their
releasing
level
albums
of pettiness.
the same day. That's exactly what's happening.
They got a long way to go. I mean, they set the bar kind of high back in the 80s.
Right. So here you have the Gems who have announced this for a long time. You know exactly when it's going to drop, and then you know that the same fans who supported Thunder Mother are supporting the Gems, and Thunder Mother. Oh, by the way, we're also releasing a new single. Now, it's not a new album, but
they're changing their name to Thunder Stealer.
Now, what I'm going to say is I'm still glad this all went down because the Thunder Mother song is badass.
See, once again, we're getting twice the rock.
We're getting twice the rock, and the Gems album is badass. So
maybe it was good.
It's good. It's all good. I just thought it was kind of
like
funny.
the Brady Bunch had split up, and they had a couple of hits. Each group had a hit.
Marsha.
That could have been a good punk song.
Yeah. Should have been a band, actually. Sounds like a good
That's the
punk
Partridge
band.
Family, I guess. They could have had a big rivalry.
They could have gone so many. They should have had new versions of the Partridge Family in the 90s. That would have been killer to have like a grunge Partridge Family.
Partridge.
They're all shooting up in the back.
Or like the Bands on the Run thing, but have the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch on tour. Follow them both around. They're sabotaging each other.
Oh, anyway, I just thought we'd go through a little Thunder Mother
that's
drama.
a good update. Yeah, we need a sounder for that next time.
Yeah.
The Thunder drama.
Okay, well, I've got one more, or you have one more for me.
I've got one more
You've
for
got
you,
one
Kevin.
more for
I'm glad
me.
you stuck around.
This one you're going to remember because I believe you brought this
Every
person
time
up
you
to
say
me
that.
twice. No, I'm pretty sure. And you sent this guy's name to me. I thought I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to it and I'm like, oh, I know why you were listening to this, or I know why somebody maybe told you to go get this, is because I would lovingly place his music in the goth or swamp rock episodes that we have. So this is like Southern goth.
Yeah.
This is Dax Riggs.
Yes.
And do you remember sending me Dax Riggs?
I mean, not the exact moment, but
Okay,
I
but
remember
yeah.
this is something you needed to hear.
So he's an American musician, best known for being in the Louisiana sludge metal band called Acid Bath. He did that band for a long
this
time.
is the one. Okay, so sorry. Of all we had to wait till the very last song for me to actually remember.
You
Yes.
get one. Okay.
I got this
All
one.
right.
Yeah. So our friend Josh and Jess,
Yep.
my friends, he played this. We were over at his house having dinner. And I'm
Okay.
like, what is this? And he's like, oh, and he grabbed the album. First of all, I'm like, oh, you're playing an actual album.
A vinyl.
One of the many reasons I like you, man. He's just cool. They're cool people. And so, yeah, he's like, oh, this is Dax Riggs. I'm like, so I had to do some digging on that.
Yeah, so Dax he came from a sludge metal band, and he's from Louisiana, so he's got swamp roots already.
Yeah.
He was also in a band called Agents of Oblivion. He was in a band called Dead Boy and the Elephant Men, and those are all great bands, actually. They're all cool. And then he decided, I'm going to do just my own thing, and he put out 2 albums under his own name, and supposedly he's still out there, but he has not put out an album in years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time, but I don't know what that's all about. But
And it's from band to band, it's pretty different. I mean, there's
it's metal, like super sludgy, just the nastiest sounding Acid Bath music. It's crazy. And then Agents of Oblivion, different. This is his solo stuff's kind of dark blues rock. Again, it's got those undertones of goth and punk, but it's a little, he calls it gothic Dixie fried thrash.
What the hell did you just say?
From the Swamps, but I don't hear any. Sorry, not thrash, trash.
Yeah.
I said thrash.
It's not thrash.
It's
no.
not thrash by any means.
No, it's
trash.
It's
is what I
sweaty
meant
and
to say.
It's sweaty and swampy.
But that's how he describes it on his site. But yeah, I don't know. I just call it good. 2 albums, but nothing in 14 years. I think it's time.
Yeah. Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Yeah, this is a song called Night is the Notion.
Night is the notion, everything sleeps beneath. We are the explosion in which lies the dream. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe you die, or maybe, baby, you don't. Maybe, baby, you don't. That is the notion. So I count the stars in my dark cup and forget this. So, Lord, I can't believe the earth ain't swallowed us yet. The earth ain't swallowed us yet. We are the explosion. We are the explosion.
was swampy.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you turned me on to that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of material there. Like I said, it depends on what mood you're in. You can go back to some of the earlier stuff, but it's, for the purposes of tonight, that's a good one to play.
Yeah, and I love the name of the album that this is from. It reminds me of something we would have come up with for the swear. We sing of only blood or love.
Yes.
It's so
It is
Elizabeth
Goth Swamp.
Elkins.
Yeah, and Goth Swamp is now one of my, it's up in the top 5 genres for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we will definitely
very Elizabeth. Yes,
we will definitely be revisiting that genre, that episode
when it gets a little warmer
at some point. Yeah, you can't do it in the winter months.
Not right now, but August. Oh yeah, it gets swampy.
Yeah, after our last exploration of swamp rock, I dug way into Frog Lord. And I got because every single album is about the bog. So they were a swamp rock band from the UK. So everything has to do with the bog.
Oh, they've got some swamps over there, yeah.
And oh my God, it's so good. I've got 6 albums of Frog Lord. So that was my Christmas vacation. I was digging into Frog Lord while everybody's doing the Christmas thing.
I got to drive down to South Alabama this weekend, so I need some material. That's good. That's good material right there.
Yeah, maybe you try a little bit of that. But man, some good music you brought to us, Captain Content.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad you say that I sent that to you.
Well, yeah, I have the text to prove it, so I know that you did.
I'll keep doing it. You just keep documenting it so that we can have some details, not just play the songs.
Let me just remind the folks one more time that tonight's content brought to you by
Captain Content.
Do you remember that cartoon?
Captain Caveman?
Yeah.
Loved it, man. I loved it.
For some reason, I only remember it being on one season. I don't know if I just couldn't find it or anything like that, but I remember I loved it too. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels was the last part of that.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, but I don't remember it being long term. Like Bugs Bunny Roadrunner for 10 years, I think I watched that. I still will watch it to this day.
So Captain Caveman was one of those Hanna-Barberas.
Yeah.
So they had all the crossovers in the late 70s. Remember the cartoons?
Scooby-Doo
They just put them all together.
Would be helping Scooby-Doo solve mysteries. And
yeah, like Batman and Robin were with Scooby-Doo, and
yeah.
I used to love those crossovers. They had that one series. It was the Laugh Olympics where they brought them all together.
Yeah, they were all together.
It was Captain
because they're
Caveman
cartoons. You don't have to pay them extra. It's not like the real actors, the Battle of the Network stars. That was the thing.
It was the low budget Avengers.
Yeah, they're like, the writers on strike this week. Let's just put them all together. Yeah, just throw them in there.
Captain Caveman. If you don't know who Captain Caveman is, you need to dig into some YouTube and check it out. It's quality entertainment.
Like Paul said, Captain Chaos, and that's from Cannonball Run.
Yeah,
that was Dom DeLuise. He didn't have a theme though. He didn't have a theme song.
He would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Captain
Chaos.
Yeah.
Anti-radar paint, turbocharged, JJ. Nobody can stop us now. Nobody.
What are you, some kind of nut? Who do you think you are?
Dun, dun, dun! I am Captain Chaos. And this is my faithful companion, Kato. Been a cop long?
God, I remember seeing Cannonball Run, 1979, with my Baptist minister dad.
Oh, and
he just saw
ladies,
Burt Reynolds.
The ladies in the car.
And the cursing. And so I'm 9 years old and had not been exposed to a lot of cursing at this point. And my dad and I were both trying not to laugh. Because I knew I'm not supposed to laugh at this. I'll get in trouble. And my dad's being a dad. He's trying not to laugh at it because he's trying to be a dad, you know?
That's a movie I need to go back and watch.
Oh, it's got to be so bad.
It's got to be horrible, but so good.
Yeah.
I just remember being very excited when the ladies would get out and unzip the front.
Daisy Duke.
Yeah.
Out of context, Daisy Duke. She's not in Dukes of Hazzard. She's all dressed
like
up now.
Some skin-tight leather get up.
I'm really sorry about that little lapse, officer. Normally I drive right around the speed limit.
We all make mistakes, miss, but 160? That's a little more than a lapse. Let me see your driver's license, please. Yeah, what the hell? I can't penalize nice girls like you for a little indiscretion. There. You girls have a nice trip. Drive carefully and take it easy.
Thank
and
you.
Come back and see us next year.
Bye.
I just remember becoming a man as I was watching that
and
movie.
same thing. I'm like staring at her boobs, going, "Wait a minute, I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this. What are these feelings?"
So I had to sneak to watch that. I was not allowed to watch Cannonball Run, but I snuck and watched it, and I loved. I remember I even had the Matchbox. Ambulance.
The car. I had the ambulance.
Yeah,
and I think I had the Lamborghini Matchbox. Yeah, so all of that, great times. Such a good time to grow up.
Absolutely.
Let's go back. Yeah, let's pick a night next week and watch Cannonball Run.
All right. Well, that's what our next episode will be: songs from Cannonball Run. I don't know what those were.
Okay, now I've got to look up the soundtrack because you know it did.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
Not good. No.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's probably got a Waylon Jennings song in there somewhere.
We'll find out. We will find out. But we'll talk about that next time. So I need you to get on whatever next week's going to be.
Yep.
And until then,
see you.
See you later.